Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cat Sports. And it's a Lions video today. We're going to talk about the upcoming free agents because we have yet to do that and figure out, who we want to keep, who we don't want to keep on this team. Surprisingly, from my standpoint of view, it's almost nobody who's these free agents I would fully keep. Surprisingly, but it's more off of a money saving thing, and I don't know how many people will agree with who I say to keep and who I say to cut. I know there's a couple that people are going to say that I'm wrong with, but we'll go down overall first and talk about who our free agents are. First up is our big one, Carlton Davis at cornerback. Whether he will be on the team or not next year, we will see. They're not talking to him. He was making 14.5 million last year. How much are you willing to give him this year? You're gonna have to give him more. I don't know if you should do that, but we'll get more at that later on. Next, Marcus Davenport. We paid him $6.5 million to be injured the whole year. Kevin Zeitler, $6 million. He is 35 years old by the time next year starts again, so we will see what happens there.
I like him, but
Uh, John Kaminsky, he will be 30 next year.
he's been hurt the last 2
And
years.
4.25 million was his contract. Emmanuel Mosley, he is going to be 29. You're paying him 2.8 million. He again was hurt 90% of the past 2 years he's been playing, so we'll see what happens there. Levi Onzuwarke, 4 years he's been on the team. 27, it will be his age. He made 2 million last year.
He's overpaid.
Depends on if you want him to be a rotational piece, but we'll see. Again, we'll get into who we think should stay. Clear Dorsey, 1.4 mil, a good special teams player. If you get him for roughly the same amount, we'll see. You might be okay with that deal. Michael Batchley, gone. I'm not even gonna worry about it. He gone because you got Jake Bates. So there you go. Kendall Vildor, please be gone. Please be gone.
He's a backup.
He's a backup that sucks. Please be gone. Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, maybe it's the same situation we had this year. Will happen again. Maybe.
Whatever happened to Hendon Hooker? Why is this guy not our backup?
He is our backup
And why do we even have this freaking Bridgewater?
because they felt some coaching experience. He wasn't really there to play. He was there for more of veteran leadership
Yeah, we have enough
in
of that.
coaching. Kyle Pico, 1.2 million. Will be 32 next year. That's a question mark again for depth. Ezekiel Turner, 1.2 mil, 7 years, been in the league. Will be 29. Allen Robertson, 32 years old, 1.2 mil last year. Ife Melifonwu will be 26 years old. He made 1.2 mil last year. Dan Skipper will be age 31. He made 1.2 million last year. Ben Newman will be 30, made 1.2 million. Tim Patrick will be 32, 1.2 million. Al Qadim Muhammad will be 30 with 1.2 million. Pat O'Connor, 1.2 million at age 32. Craig Reynolds, restricted free agent at $1 million. He'll be 29. Derek Barnes at 26. Made $1 million last year. Jonah Williams, defensive end, 30 years old at $1 million. Anthony Pittman, Miles Adams, Sane Zilstra, all restricted free agents making around that $1 million mark. Trevor Nowaske, Michael Neese, Mitchell Agud, Connor Galvin, all a little under $1 million as restricted free agents as well. Exclusive rights, I believe, is the exact term for them. Owaska, restricted free agent, 27, around 700,000. Kwan Alexander, around 380,000, and then Maurice Norris, a safety rookie, $0 last year. Didn't even get paid to be on the team according to this website, which is wrong. And like I said, personally, off of my opinion, there's maybe only like 3 or 4 guys I'm resigning off this list.
Right. Maybe certainly Skipper, maybe Iffy. Reynolds.
We're going to go with our big guys. Carlton Davis, I'm not resigning him.
No.
I'm not putting that money towards him. You need to put your money towards other players. You're going to need to save money for Hutchinson. You're going to need to save money for Kirby Joseph.
Right. No.
You're not going to give Carlton Davis a nice $20 to $25 million deal to take up that money instead. Roll with the young corners. Pray to God this works. And maybe sign somebody in the offseason who does not cost as much as Carlton Davis would, but will still be a decent price. You still will have Amik Robinson next year, even though he broke his arm. But he would be fine to go next year to at least help the rookies out. But Carlton Davis, I'm going to let him walk. Same thing with Kevin Zeitler. Not that he's not good.
What does he want?
Exactly. He made $6 million last year. If you give him, you're probably going to have to pay him at least around the same amount. You could just go with Mahogany.
You think they're the same? I think Zeitler's a pretty good player.
He's pretty good, but you're thinking about money.
Yeah. I mean,
think about again.
If you feel Mahogany can do the same job or close for a lot cheaper.
A 1 year deal? Sure.
But Mahogany is an injury-prone guy, too.
Like he started the year injured. He didn't get injured after he started playing.
Well, he only played a few games.
And he played very well in those few games.
Yeah, but I
personally,
I would consider Zeitler.
Personally, I mean, if he's willing to take roughly around the same deal for a year, maybe 2, sure. But I'm not going to give him a lengthy extension. Again, he's 35. $6 million. If you can get him for that or somehow get less, fantastic. But again, I'm more or less thinking, let's just go younger. Let's save our money and give it to the guys who need to keep for the future. John Kaminsky. He was hurt this year. Maybe you can get him for a cheaper deal.
Yeah, he's hurt
again, this is called depth. He's not going to be a starter on what our defensive line is going to look like next year. So if you're looking for a depth piece, maybe again, this is kind of where some tough decisions get made.
Did he play at all this year?
He did not.
So yeah, no.
That's it.
I mean, that's the whole thing. It's probably why he was so excited to come back, because he knew, hey, I'm gonna get free money.
He potentially, if you get him for another year at $2 million and give him a little bit of rotational job, sure. But
he ain't healthy. So
he had 1 year he was hurt the whole year. He wasn't having problems the other years.
Okay.
So that's why I say, if you get him for a cheap deal, sure, keep him. Manuel Mosley, gone. No, he's been hurt the past 2 years. Yeah. He's been very low impact on what the team has done. Save your money. Ansu Arke, again, depth piece. As long as you're not going to give him, $8 million to sit behind everybody else, I would be fine if he got roughly around the same deal.
He's better than Kaminsky.
He is better than Kaminsky. In fact, he is a tackle, so that would be the inside rotation, not the outside.
Well, Kaminsky plays everything. He doesn't really play.
Yeah, but Ansu Arke, I would give him, again, $4 million. You pick between Kaminsky and Ansu Arke. Khalil Dorsey, I would be willing to give him a contract because he does good in special teams. But outside of that, he had a very nasty injury to end the year. You probably can get him for cheap, even probably less than you paid him this year, just as a prove-it deal that he's still okay. Yeah. Because, again, he had a similar injury to what Hutchinson did, just not as severe. So we'll see what they decide with that. Badgley, like we said, gone. Kendall Vildor, gone. Teddy Bridgewater, you're not going to at least sign him at the beginning of the season. He's probably going to go coach the high school in Florida again. So, again, end of the year, maybe if you're a little bit concerned with how Hooker is. Or if you trade Hooker and whoever you have you're iffy about, we'll see. Kyle Pico, another guy who he ended the year hurt. He did not do terrible in the time he played. Again, if you can get him for a similar 1 year, around the $1 million deal, I would be okay with that. But again, another guy who I say, if you want to let him walk, let him walk.
Yeah.
It's not someone you need on this team. Ezekiel Turner, outside linebacker, not really concerned. But a lot of these guys are filling guys who you can try to improve with. Allen Robinson, if you want to put him back in the practice squad, sure. But
practice squad.
But he is not going to be a starter, especially with the rumors.
Wide receiver.
Especially with the rumors that you might be going after Cooper Kupp. Yeah,
we are deep.
Allen Robinson, no, thank you. At least to start on a team. Practice squad in case someone gets hurt. Yeah, sure. Ifeami Melifonwu, he's one of the guys I would resign.
Yes.
Even though he was hurt a lot last year, Got unlucky. He played very well the other years. Again, you can get a prove it deal. Maybe you give him a 1 year deal with a little bit more money at $2 million instead of 1.1, and we'll see what happens. Dan Skipper. I would sign Dan Skipper.
He's a very reliable backup.
I would
and
sign Dan Skipper to a deal.
Situational player. So yeah, he'd be I like Dan Skipper.
Ben Newman, you can let him walk again. Special teams guy though, if you want to have him play special teams, give him roughly the same contract and we're good. But again, not someone who I say you have to resign. Tim Patrick. I would be very okay with them signing Tim Patrick again, and roughly you're probably going to give him more money because of he played pretty decent.
He played very good.
But
I would say he's
probably between $2 and $3 million, just a little bit more
they just
money.
Can't,
don't overspend. Basically,
being his age, I don't think I'd give him more than a year or two.
Well, he's still going to be 32.
Yeah,
basically.
Receiver,
but again, if you're going to trade for Cooper Kupp, that's where the decision has to come in. Do you want to keep Tim Patrick or trade for Cooper Kupp, or do both and have just a very, very good top 5 wide receivers that you have? That is very possible too. Muhammad, I would give him a deal. He played really, really well.
The defensive line.
Yes, I would give him a deal. He played very, very well near the end of the year, so I would definitely give him a contract as well. Pat O'Connor, it's up in the air. Again, he's a guy, depth. Do you feel you need some depth? Sure. All right, sign him. If not, then guess what? Let him go. Not someone who I think you need to keep. Craig Reynolds, it's up to you, right? He has been a situational guy. He has barely played the past 2-3 years.
I like Craig Reynolds.
But he is a very good situational guy when someone gets hurt. He's not a bad running back. He's good to keep on the team. You give him for another $1 million, fantastic. But again, it's somebody who hasn't really affected your team. Are you just going to go start playing Vaki more than Craig Reynolds?
Right. Vaki might be able to take his place, but I like Craig Reynolds.
So we'll see what ends up happening. Derek Barnes. He is someone who I would sign if you could get him for roughly the same contract he had, maybe a little bit more, around $2 million instead of the $1 million, for a couple of years. Again, to prove it. He was hurt a good amount of this year. Prove it deal. He played well his other years. Wasn't absolutely terrible. Wasn't fantastic either. But with how your linebackers were last year, sign everybody who you feel semi-confident in and hope that we don't run into the same problem that we did this year with everybody getting hurt. Because that's basically what was happening. Jonah Williams, again, $1 million. Rotational piece. If you feel he's good enough to stay on the team, sure. But again, that's someone you need to resign. Anthony Pittman, again, these are where you hit the practice squad guys. Pittman, Adams, Zylstra. Always good to have depth. If they want to come back, sure. The Waske, Nice, Agud, Galvin. Again, practice squad, extra roster pieces. Do you feel like giving him a contract? Sure. If not, whatever. Awaska, sure. Right. We'll see what ends up happening. Right. But again, like I said, there's only about 3 to 4 guys on this list of free agents that we currently have that I am saying for sure keep. Like, try to keep them on a team. Everyone else, walk, save your money, see what you can do, build your team up a little bit. You have the draft to do, fill in some extra positions. Because again, you got to get money to sign Joseph. You got to get money to sign Hutchinson. You got to leave room. Yes, it goes up every single year. Because next year, you have some interesting cap space that's going to open up, right? Because Zadarius Smith will be leaving. That's $11.5 million gone. G.J. Reader could be leaving. That's another $11 million that will be gone. Hutchinson has a club option next year, so you don't really have to worry about that. Along with Jameson Williams, club option. Are you going to keep J-Mo? Are you not going to keep J-Mo? This is where you got to save your money. Amik Robinson, gone. Khalif Raymond, gone. Alex Anzalone, gone. They're all going to be free agents. You have basically 2 years until most of your main guys are gone. Kirby Joseph, again, will be a free agent. Does not have a club option. Malcolm Rodriguez will be a free agent. Does not have a club option. You have a handful of guys next year who are semi-year core who are going to be leaving. So you want to save some money to re-sign him.
Yes, I guess so.
Unless you don't. Obviously, JMO is a touchy subject for some people.
Well,
Mhm.
JMO is somebody I don't know if we want to resign. I don't know. We'll see how he is. He's a great talent, very immature, but we'll see. We could always. I like I said, it's been nice having Brad Holmes in there because I mean he makes it easy. I trust him. I think he'll do the right thing. You can't keep everybody.
Can't keep everybody.
So I think the Lions have a good window still. I kind of laugh at these people. Yeah, like I said, we're such a strange fan base. We panic so quickly, and yet we get up so quickly too. And it's like we couldn't believe we lost to Washington. Well, why not? I mean, they're another team, really good.
But again, though, it's also, and I was talking about this the other day, where it's your bandwagon thing. Because you talk to any normal Lions fan over the past 20+ years, you could say the team sucks, and we'll agree with you.
Right.
It's very difficult to have banter with a Lions fan because they agree that the team sucks and that we're not surprised when they lose. Because we're still not surprised when they lose. We're
Right.
just more disappointed
Right.
when they lose. Bandwagon Lions fan, they're going to get all mad that we lost. That's how you can tell overall who.
I mean, I think this has been probably the best 2-3 years that we've had as Lions fans in my memory of 50+ years. Maybe 91 was the other great year, but this is the closest we've ever gotten to being a Super Bowl contender. We weren't Super Bowl contenders back in 91. We're legit Super Bowl contenders now. Few things go right for us, we're right there. I know lots of people are looking at what the Eagles did to Kansas City and go, well, we never would have beat them. Who knows?
Yeah, we would
might
have.
been able to beat
We
them.
would have.
Who knows?
You had a bad week. That bye
We
week.
had a bad week.
If I said it when we got the bye, or when we were talking about whether we want to buy or not, the bye probably wasn't a good thing for us. Even though, yes, we got our rest at the same time.
Yeah, we got our home field.
At the same time, we decided, we took our foot off the gas.
Right.
You got the rest. You took your foot off the gas. You laid back, tried to get healthy, and it worked. You got healthy, but it was too little, too late. Once that game started,
Right.
You were not ready to play. You might have had a better time being the wild card team and trying to win on the road that way. But it is what it is. We'll end it here, though. If you'd like to see, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about who you would want to keep, who you want to let go. And until next time, hope to see everybody soon.